Howdy, folks. I'm Comical Centaur, carefully cutting cold cucumbers.
I'm Amber.
And here are more cold cucumbers for us to cut. And don't ask me what centaurs do with those cucumbers. I really have no idea. I guess we make salad, but not centaur salad. But I mean, I guess it is technically centaur salad. So let's get started. A horse is a horse, of course a horse, unless of course it's a centaur. Then it's not a horse at all. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Fiance that he must disclose his vasectomy to his parents before they keep blaming me for no grandkids? Well, my fiance's parents have spent the last year joking often that I'm selfish for not giving them grandkids, since they love kids and they want grandkids so bad. At every dinner, I get needled about timelines, fertility, and my age. My fiance had a vasectomy at 26. His choice, pre-me. We're both fine being child-free. He refuses to tell them because it's private, but also won't shut down the blame when it's aimed at me. I told him to either disclose enough to stop the narrative, or I will, in whatever words are necessary to remove me as his scapegoat. He is silent about it, and only said that I'm forcing him and acting like he is the victim here. All in all, I just don't want to take public hits for his decision that isn't mine, and I won't sit there while they rewrite me as the problem to protect his comfort. I'm done being the clown. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, yes, it is his private medical business, but he needs to shut them down somehow.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go into great detail about the procedure or anything. Just note that it is not OP's fault, or something like that, and but it's his responsibility to shut it down, and he should have shut it down a very long time ago. And the fact that he's just okay with OP taking the heat indefinitely makes me wonder if this is the right relationship for OP.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, all he would have to say is, oh, it's on my end.
Yeah.
Right? Or say, oh, I'm infertile. Like, he doesn't have to tell them that it's a medical procedure or anything like that. All he needs to do is just say to them, you need to leave her alone. This is on my end here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we won't be having grandkids. And, the fact that they aren't coming out together and being, oh, by the way, we decided that we're child-free, it's not maybe the grandparents, their parent-in-law's business, but it would also get them off the case if OP and their partner both went forward and said, we're not having kids,
Well, it might not. It might ramp up the pressure. So I mean, granted, he could try that route and just say we've made a mutual decision.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he needs to be the one shutting things down. It's not OP's responsibility, and she should not be taking the fall.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Lizzie says, not the jerk, and he's a jerk for letting you take the heat from his family about this when he knows the reality. And Tree Frog says, he's a jerk for letting OP take the heat from his family, full stop. And Rowana133 says, not the jerk, but are you sure you want to stay with someone so spineless? And Puzzleheaded Ad 7606 says, right, he never had to tell them that he got snipped, but he did need to tell them to back off and that there will be no kids. Also, OP, are you absolutely 100% sure that he actually had a vasectomy? I mean, that's actually a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And Kitty Span Kitty says, reply with 3 words, ask your son. Successful Pay 8203 says, just tell them that he can't father children and leave it at that. And Love Norwich says, I'm not the problem, talk to your son about it. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to share my location with my fiance after his mom added me to the family safety tracker without asking? So I'm engaged to my partner right now, and his mom runs a family location sharing group for safety. I woke up to notifications that I had been added without my consent. My fiance opened my phone and toggled me on. Suddenly, his mom was texting me that she saw me at the pharmacy and that I'm late home from work. I told my fiance that I'm not comfortable being monitored by his family, removed myself from the group, and I turned off location sharing entirely. His parents weren't happy about it. He has also been silent about the problem, not even protecting me. Am I the jerk? I don't agree. Do I owe anyone my dots on a map to prove that I'm safe or loyal? I just want to keep my life from becoming a dashboard for others that can tap at will. If he wants to know where I'm at, he can always text me like an adult and not outsource my privacy to his mother's app. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. Like you said, this is a matter of personal privacy. And, even your partner isn't entitled to know your location at all times. Like no one should be turning on your location and adding you to group chats without your consent in that way. And so I think you have a serious partner problem though, because he's the one who puts you in the group chat without your consent. And so definitely have a think about, the overall situation with him, and is this the only time he's done something shady, or is he kind of like always needing to know where you are and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I mean, that's my big problem here is that this is the first, maybe the first, but it probably won't be the last time that he invades OP's privacy or tries to force OP into something that they're not comfortable with. Like, they could ask OP like an adult and say, hey, it would be really mean a lot to me if you would be part of this. But they can't force OP, and they shouldn't be forcing OP into this kind of thing, right? And this just kind of shows me that he's going to prioritize his wants and needs over OP's, right? And if those conflict, then he's going to choose to override OP, right?
Yeah, well, and the audacity of his parents, like his mom going in there and questioning OP about her when she was returning home, like, oh, I saw you were at the pharmacy, you're late home from work. Like, none of that is her business.
Yeah. So I just think that OP is right to turn off the sharing and maybe even turn off this relationship. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Fair Theme 9388 says, sounds like your fiance's mom is just spying on you and trying to catch you doing something that you're not supposed to. This isn't about her caring about your safety at all. Your fiance sneaking around on your phone and adding you to the group as well as staying quiet about it just further proves the point. Are you sure you want to marry into this? Not the jerk. And BRD73 says, that's stalking behavior. I would be ticked. You're not 5 years old. And Remote Shellist 5927 says, I'm in a family location group, but we have rules. The only notifications are my house, so I know when they arrive so that I can go bring in my grand dogs and the hospital. We do not check in for any other reason. It's just there, and we respect it. She's being very disrespectful with the privilege that you didn't even give her permission for. And Princess CG says, this, we only use it if someone is late home or hasn't checked in. It's not tracking for the sake of tracking. Mother-in-law way overstepped. I mean, I think that's a really good point too. Like, there are even certain bounds on these location sharing apps. Even if you opt into it, you're not necessarily opting into it all the time, right? To be tracked.
Yeah, you're not expecting to be, like, you don't have to answer to your parents where you are at all times. Like, again, the person said OP is not a 5-year-old who needs to be constantly monitored.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, How do I, a 34-year-old male, tell my baby mama, a 34-year-old female, that she shouldn't make her son a junior? My baby mama and I do not have the best relationship. When we were hooking up, she didn't know that I had a fiance until she got pregnant, and that was 10 years ago. I tried to get her to have an abortion, and she agreed, but did a 180. I still love my son, who is 10 now. I have grown tremendously since that experience, and I can say proudly that after that incident, I never cheated on anyone. I learned firsthand the negative consequences of cheating. Still, we don't have the best relationship because she's still bitter about it, but we managed to co-parent. She got married, and her husband are having a baby. I found out that she's going to make their kid a junior, and I find that completely unacceptable. Because when it was our kid, and I wanted our son to be a junior, she said no. So now her and her husband will make their kid a junior? I feel that in her attempt to get under my skin, that she's not considering how this might impact the child that we have together, because he's going to be wondering why he couldn't be named after his dad, just like his brother. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think OP is probably thinking a little bit too much into how much his son is going to care that he's not a junior.
Yeah.
This is none of your business, OP. You are not with this woman. You do not get any say in her marriage or her relationship.
Yay, guess what? when your son turns 18, they can decide to turn their name into a junior if they really want to, if they're that hurt by this situation. So yeah, just talk to them in 8 more years and tell them that if they really want this as an option, they can take it. You know what? I think that OP is really confused here. They think that they should be able to dictate what their old ex's new child is going to be named. That's ridiculous. You don't have that kind of authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what big surprise that she wants to name a kid after her actual like permanent partner,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is just kind of a really strange situation because like they were not a like permanent fixture, and she probably found out pretty early on that he was cheating with his fiance on her, so she was the other woman. Does he really think that she's going to want to name the kid a junior in that kind of circumstance?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it seems like OP is very self-involved and is not really thinking, as much as he says it's about his son, no, it's about his bruised ego. He couldn't name the kid after himself.
Yeah.
The kid that he didn't even want.
Yeah.
But now, since he doesn't have a kid named after him, OP, you can have other kids with someone else and name them after you.
Yeah. Yeah. Problem solved. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, 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 tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Centrifuge. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you, Wheel. Go forth.
I'm just going to let you be on a power trip for now.
And Moxie O'Hara says, I mean, the obvious answer here is that she's in a stable and committed relationship with a man that she married, and they're having a presumably planned and wanted baby, rather than a hookup with someone who lied to her and wanted her to get an abortion. Why do you think that those two circumstances are equivalent? Can you not see that she might not want to name a baby after you, after what you admit was a bad behavior? And Obi replies, I'm certainly not proud of my behavior either, but after she decided to keep the baby, no matter the circumstances, I'm just as much the father to our son as her husband will be to theirs. And Allergy Mom 74 says, well, if your son asks, then be honest and say, I treated your mom poorly when she first told me that she was pregnant, so I didn't have her trust that I would stick around. I had to re-earn her trust, so I wasn't involved in major decisions like naming you. What did you do after accepting the fact that she was having a child? Did you apologize to her? Or were you focused on repairing things with your fiance that you cheated on? How did you try to make amends for your actions? I haven't seen your comments in regards to that here. Just admit that you weren't the nicest person to her and hadn't regained her trust properly by then. Part of being a good parent and adult is being able to admit to your kid that you made a mistake and can recover from them. Even though from how you write here, you still have a lot of recovering to do. And even now, you still blame her for your actions and say that she's bitter. Edit to add, you talk about how you haven't cheated since you've cheated, but how did you make things up to the woman that you cheated with? And OP replies, because I didn't treat her poorly when she was first pregnant. Obviously, I wanted an abortion because I didn't think that we were ready for a child, and I didn't want my fiance at the time to know. Obviously, keeping the baby made it impossible for her not to find out. When she decided that she was going to keep the baby, even though I disagreed, I was all in. That's why I wanted her to make the kid a junior, or at least compromise where he has my first and last name, but maybe a different middle name. She refused on both accounts. Throughout the entire co-parenting relationship, I put our child first and have been nothing but supportive. She has unfortunately allowed her bitterness and anger towards me to get in the way of us having a more positive co-parenting relationship. I mean, I think OP, again, isn't really viewing this from her perspective here, right?
I mean, this was a complete, but he has to realize this was a complete betrayal on his part. He betrayed two people by having this secret affair. Like, she had no idea she was the other woman.
Yeah.
She may have assumed that she and OP were going to be like in a more permanent relationship when this baby, and then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I have a fiance.
Yeah.
I just hope he does not seem like the most reliable narrator. But even if he is telling the truth, and he's always been so good, and she just makes everything hard, can you blame her for being a little resentful and bitter toward the man who deceived her in such a horrible way?
Yeah. And Allergy Mom 74 says, so making her an affair partner without her consent isn't treating her badly? Asking her to abort so that you don't have to face the consequences of your actions isn't treated badly? How would you have felt if your fiance got pregnant by a man who didn't know that she was with you? Would you have felt wronged? And OP replies, you said that I treated her poorly when she told me that she was pregnant. That's not true. Obviously, I treated her poorly before that, unfortunately. I was selfish, and I didn't see how damaging cheating could be. However, from the moment that she said that she wanted to keep the baby, I've been completely supportive. I wronged her in this terrible way, and I admit that I treated her terribly, but it was after she was pregnant.
It was before she was pregnant and not after, and so it should have had no bearing. It should have been instantly, she forgives me.
Yeah, I don't think that OP is living in the same world that we were all living in.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What could you call a spectral main course?
A spectral main course? I would call that a ghosty dish delight.
A ghost roast.
Oh, a ghost roast.
And it's National Ghost Hunting Day.
So go hunt yourself a ghost and then turn it into a roast.
Well, no, don't turn ghosts into roasts. The roasts have to already be ghosts.
I see. I'm very confused about the laws here. I thought that it was open season on ghost hunting. Can I go and get like a ghost deer and turn it into a roast, or a ghost cow? So, or is it just like, what ghosts are off limits here, Amber?
I mean, I don't know. You have to check with the Maine state laws. I think hunting season actually starts today. So...
But
No.
do they have like a limit? Is there a hunting season on ghosts?
That's why I said you have to check with the state of Maine and see what they're hunting.
All right, well, I'll call them up as soon as we get done recording and find out, or message the state of Maine and be like, can I go hunt ghosts? What season can I hunt ghosts in, so that they can put me on some kind of list of people never to talk to
I mean,
again.
if it's ghost deers, it might start today because like I said, it's hunting season. Deer hunting season starts today, so.
And I have a special guest tea. This one is called Dragon Fruit Dream, and it has apple pieces, rose hips, hibiscus, lemon verbena, orange, dragon fruit flavor, dragon fruit, pineapple pieces, strawberry, mango flower, and rose petals. Honestly, it's a pretty nice tea all in all. I mean, it smells very good, and it has kind of a nice sweet, refreshing type flavor. So, I mean, it's a nice tea. I think it's a nice mild tea. It's an herbal tea, of course, so, you know, if you like herbal teas and whatnot, then you might like this tea. And this is an Adiago tea. Don't call my name, Adiago. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Spectacular Saturday, folks. I hope your Saturday is off to a spectacular start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on entitled requests.
Don't try to micromanage the lives of other adults.
I like it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.